Did you know that a simple Dollar Tree prayer candle can be transformed into a stunning piece of art with just a few simple supplies? Get ready for a mesmerizing DIY tutorial. In this video, I'll show you how to give your prayer candles a beautiful makeover using decoupage and air dry clay techniques. Hello, my crafty friends. I'm Donna from Mason Creations, etc., and welcome to my channel. So sit back, relax, and let's make a mess. This is a plain prayer candle that you can get at Dollar Tree or Walmart. I chose white because I'm going to decoupage on it, and I don't want any color showing through my decoupaged image. The first thing I'm doing is wiping this piece with an alcohol wipe. This will remove any dirt, debris, or fingerprints. You want a nice clean surface to start off with. I'm going to brush on Polyvine's multi-surface lacquer in a dead flat finish. I'm using the dead flat finish because I want to remove the shine. It's specially formulated to create a durable bond on slick, non-porous surfaces such as plastic, glass, ceramic, and metal. That bond acts as a gripping layer that allows paints, decoupage papers, or transfers to stick more effectively. Without it, top layers may chip, scratch, or peel. For best results, I'm going to let this dry overnight. This and all the products you're going to see me use today came from decoupagenapkins.com, my wonderful sponsors. I have some rice paper that looks just like marble. This is going to be the backdrop for my project. I'm using a water brush to remove the white edges of the paper and tearing it to the correct size so it fits my candle. A water brush has a cartridge that you fill with water and then brush it on the napkin or rice paper. The water dispenses easily, so this is really convenient. You can find this in my description box below in my favorite tools section, just in case you want to check it out. You always want to tear your rice paper or napkin instead of cutting it. A torn edge is much easier to blend than a sharp cut edge. DecoupageNapkins.com has such a great selection of napkins that you can purchase one at a time. They carry many other craft supplies such as rice paper, paint, clay, molds, and a great selection of Polyvine products. Over 9,000 products and growing. They are wonderful to work with and will send your order out fast. You'll receive free shipping on orders over $75 and special bonus points for orders over $100. Subscribe to their newsletter by entering your email address and you'll receive 10% off your next order. They are truly your one-stop shop for craft supplies. Make sure you check them out. I'll be leaving links for all the products I use in my description box below, as well as more information on the previously mentioned promotions. Please note that any of these promotions are subject to future changes. My crafty friend Monica P. requested that I do something on a prayer candle. Here you go, Monica. This video is for you. Now that it fits perfectly, I'm going to decoupage it to the candle. I'm using Polyvine Decorator's Varnish as my decoupage adhesive today. You can use this product as a varnish and an adhesive, which is true for all the Polyvine formulas. It works so much better than the most popular brand of decoupage glue. It's not a glue, so it doesn't go on thick and lumpy. It's a varnish, so it dries crystal clear and will never yellow. I'm getting my paper in place and adding the varnish right on top of the paper. Rice paper is very porous. It'll soak right through the paper so it adheres properly. Unless you have a very thick paper, you don't necessarily need to add your glue first. You have much more control doing it this way because you have your paper already positioned the way you want it. If you lift it to add glue, the paper could shift. This works great when you want something precisely positioned. I let my decoupaged paper dry for a few hours, and now I'm going to give the entire thing a coat of Polyvine heavy-duty wood varnish in a satin finish. This is going to be my sealer for this project. I'll be adding more coats of this as I go to protect each layer. This has a great shine and will definitely add to that marble appearance. I'll let this dry for an hour. I'm going to use my favorite DOS clay to make an embellishment for the front of this candle. DecoupageNapkins.com has a new line of silicone molds, and this small white mold is part of their new Accent Mold series. They are quite reasonably priced and have such amazing detail. And there's quite a large selection to choose from. And I'm using one that has an image of Jesus along with some lilies. I just think this mold is beautiful. After pressing the clay into the molds, I'm scraping off the excess with my palette knife and then smoothing the clay out with some water. Then I'll put them in the freezer for 20 minutes. Freezing the clay makes it rigid so they just pop out of the mold easily. No tiny little limbs will break off. If you want to see an in-depth video on how to work with air dry clay, click the banner in the top right corner of your screen. I'll also leave you a link for that video in my description box below. Fresh out of the freezer, watch how easily these just pop out of the molds. No delicate little pieces will break off. They are frozen solid, so I'll need to let them thaw for a few minutes, but not in the mold. Make sure you remove them from the mold right away as soon as you take them out of the freezer. I always clean up the edges a little bit as it's thawing. I make sure they're smooth and remove any excess clay that shouldn't be there. And oops, I damaged his halo. I'm going to remove what's left there and I'll make a new one. Where are you all watching from, my crafty friends? Let me know in the comments. I just love to see what cities and countries all my friends are watching from. I'm filming from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States. I'm going to use Aleene's tacky glue to add my molded clay to my piece. I need to add this while the clay is still wet so it'll conform to the piece as it dries. This is the best glue I've found for attaching wet clay. I test all the products that I recommend in my videos. I won't recommend anything that I haven't used myself and prefer. If I'm recommending it, you can bet it's a great product. Each product will be listed in my description box below and will have a blue link to make it easy for you to find. Any of the links I provide are safe for you to click on. If any glue seeps out from under the clay, I'm removing it right away with a clean, damp brush. I'm also pressing down all the edges of the clay very delicately to make sure they're all connecting with the piece. Since I damaged the halo, I need to make a new one. I'm rolling a tiny bit of clay really thin. I'm putting some tacky glue on the candle with a toothpick so I can get a really thin line. Now I'm adding my piece of clay on the glue and cutting it to size with my palette knife. I removed any excess glue with a clean, damp brush right away. I'm going to let all my clay dry overnight. The clay is dry and I'm going to paint it using Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Magnolia. This color is so beautiful. It's a warm white and matches the background color perfectly. Dixie Belle chalk paint is so much nicer than other chalk paints. It goes on so smooth and creamy. I let the paint dry for about 30 minutes and then gave it a coat of heavy-duty wood varnish in satin. I let that dry for an hour and then I'll be ready for antiquing. I'm mixing my own antique using a glazing medium and some paint. I put about a teaspoon in a little paper cup and then added just a few drops of paint. The glazing medium prolongs the drying time of the paint. This way you have a longer working window. It wasn't dark enough, so I added a little black to the medium. Before you apply any antiquing, you need to have a satin or gloss finish. This will allow you to wipe the antique off the surface and it will remain in all the cracks and crevices. Without a shine on the surface, the antique will grab onto the bare paint and you won't be able to wipe any of it off. I always add a little water to my mixture because I prefer my antique a little bit runnier. I'm applying it with a brush and wiping it off right away with a soft dry cloth. This mold has quite a bit of detail, so the antique was going on real heavy. I dampened my cloth so I could remove a little more of it. The turquoise item that you're seeing me use is called a cup cradle. It's made from silicone and I rely on it a lot. I use this anytime I'm working on something round. It keeps my piece from rolling away from me. I get a lot of people asking me what it is. There'll be a link in my description box below, just in case you want to check it out. I'm using Pentart paint in the color red to paint just the heart. I want this to have no actual color except for the heart. I'm also going to paint the halo, Pentart Silver. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. And why not share this with a friend? Thanks for doing that. You won't want to miss any of the new projects coming up, so don't forget to subscribe. There's a little bit of a rim in the glass at the top of the candle. I'm painting it with the Pentart Silver. I gave it 2 coats to make sure it looked very silvery. I'm using a sponge dauber to apply the paint. It has a flat surface, which is great for doing edges. Don't forget, all of the wonderful products I'm using today can be found at my favorite place for craft supplies, decoupagenapkins.com, and I'll leave you links in my description box below. Now here's how to get an incredible shine with the satin finish heavy duty wood varnish. I let my paint dry and now I'm sanding my background with some fine grit sandpaper very lightly and wiping off the dust. I already have a coat of this varnish on the background, but this time I am going to use Polyvine's varnish brush to apply the heavy duty wood varnish. This brush is designed to eliminate brush strokes and leave you a beautiful self-leveling shine. You can do this same procedure more than once. Keep sanding and adding another coat until you get the desired shine. Just make sure you let it dry for at least an hour between coats. 2 or 3 coats of this gives you a beautiful shine that's moisture and high heat resistant, as well as high chemical resistant, high stain resistant, high abrasion resistant, and food safe. This works wonderful on any painted or decoupage surface or shiny surface that has been coated with Polyvine multi-surface lacquer. I let that dry for an hour between each coat and an hour after the final coat. I've had a few people ask me if this varnish has a strong smell. No, it does not. It's water-based, so there are no harmful fumes at all. I get a lot of questions about how I clean my brushes after all the products I'm using. Everything you've seen me use today is water-based, so they will all clean up with soap and water. I use Speedball pink soap for brushes. I'll leave you a link in my description box below. It works really well. It seems to remove paint you didn't even know was still in your brush. I think you'll like it. I've added a link to a video that I think you may enjoy. Click the picture on the right to be taken directly to that video. I'm so happy you were here with me today, and thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all next week. I'm working on a new project with you in mind. You can subscribe by clicking my picture in the top right corner.